Thank you for tuning in. This is the No1 podcast. I am your host, Jake. Coach Jake, what's up, Costa? What's up, Kama? Happy to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am just starting to get the people on Clubhouse going here. We are on two different YouTube channels, two different Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch. What else am I missing? I can't remember everything that we're broadcasting to. What's up, James? Schmeenix. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Guys, as ever on the chat, if you want to chat with me, just comment. That's how I can do this. It's not like two-way live radio like I used to do. I don't know how to do the caller thing yet. Maybe I'll figure it out. Love to have you guys come on. What is up? How is your day? Today is, man, it's already Wednesday. Time flies. I'm going to have a busy week next week. I will be camping up in the Uinta Mountains of Utah next week. So I will be off the grid completely, which means I will not be podcasting probably until maybe Thursday or Friday. And I won't have a podcast. Well, maybe I will. Actually, I will podcast this Friday. I'm flying to San Diego, Coachy Catch. You guys, you got to get out to go see it. Please. I'll run the screen thing here. What's up, Israel 306? Good to see you. CoachyCatch.com. I'll be in San Diego this weekend. It's going to be amazing. Bear with me here. Fail. So the topic today, and I'm typing it in for the people on Clubhouse, is fail and get haters. Okay. It is the weirdest thing to me in this culture that, well, the education system is a joke. Can we at least agree on that much? Can we hold on and get haters? I'm going to start this room right now. Start room. Let's welcome them. Hey, welcome to the No1 podcast. I am your host, Coach Jake. Today we are talking about fail and get haters. That is not descriptive. That is prescriptive. It is descriptive as well. Fail, you're going to get haters, but it's also a prescription. I'm suggesting fail and go get you some haters. Do you have haters? If you don't have haters, man, you ain't doing anything, right? Right? Schmeenix, definitely a joke. Yeah, the education system. So this is where I was going. Like the public and the weasel language is just so ridiculous. Can we stop calling it public school and start calling it government school? I think that's going to break through some bullshit, right? Like government school, right? Did you go to government school? And as such, the government is in control of your mind. Government, goober, mente, to control, mente, mind, government, right? Public school is the greatest thing that they were ever able to do. And the weird thing is this. The worst thing you can do in public school is fail. Right? That's like assault somebody or get expelled or, detention. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking on the grades. But I would argue that all true knowledge comes through experimentation, which requires failure as a feedback mechanism, right? So I think there's a difference here, right? Like people don't understand. Like, oh, we're getting some people in the chat here. Let's see, Matija Biondic, excellent. Happy to see you. Thank you for popping in. Oh, we got Kenny Blanco, Gorilla Blanco. Let's go. What's up, Kenny Lester? Good to see you, dude. Education as it's done today and has been, I think it's changing now, mostly because of the internet. But I think that to really learn, you've got to get your hands dirty and you got to be willing to fail. Otherwise, you're just memorizing other people's experimentations and failures, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do, but like learning out of a book and all that. Who do you know? How do you know that it's not full of shit? To me, I think the best way to learn is to go directly to somebody who has had success in what you want to learn and mentor with them. The old school apprentice model. Apprenticeship is how you're going to really learn something. I mean, you might go and read books and be able to fill out bubble sheets and scantrons and all that shit. But that just shows how good you are at filling out bubble sheets and scantrons. That doesn't really, right? So this is why I think trade schools, they still favor this apprentice system where you go and let's say I want to be a plumber, right? Which is way better and smarter than going into college and studying basket weaving. You're actually going to get a job and you're going to be doing something useful and people will pay you money for it. Nobody gives a fuck about your weird social justice degree. I'm sorry. Like, dude, like maybe if you go into politics, okay? But like, that's a shit job anyway, man. Politics is toxic. I'm just telling you, I tried it. I ran for U.S. Congress, not just state Congress, U.S. Congress. I chaired a whole state political party. It's trash, dude. A waste of my time. But that's how I learned is I failed. I know firsthand that it is bullshit. School is bullshit, dude. I'm just telling you, the way it's done now, it's bullshit. Apprenticing with somebody is the way to do it. So we got Puerto Rican rum. Dude, you are a regular, dude. I'd give you a little badge if I could. School is simply an indoctrination camp today. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Kenny Blanco. Oh, wait. We got Ryan. Dude, my old pal Ryan. What is up, dude? Communications degree. I mean, yeah and no. Like, I mean, that's going to be better than basket weaving or all this other bullshit. What's up, Ryan, dude? So happy to see you. Thank you so much for jumping in, dude. One of my oldest friends. Great guy. So yeah, communications degree. I mean, I just say skip the degree and go study with somebody, like mentor, get in the room, apprentice, intern, do whatever it. Oh, all right. Yeah, I can't tell from the tone. He was mocking. Yes. All right. So let's see what Kenny has to say here. They remove failures and mechanism of cancer, rewarding success and creating an incentive to learn improvement skills. Trade requires problem solving. Yeah, dude. It's the way the trade schools are 1,000 times better, right? So anyway, Shminix now on Instagram is saying, I learned more from trade school in high school than academia. So what I'm talking about is this like apprenticeship model where you mentor, you get a mentor or a coach, right? Like I think athletics, this is one thing, because I've been coaching grappling for so long. I love coaching. I think it's great because it's performance based. It's results based. Like not, hey, you get an A or you get a gold star. Now some, you get a purple belt or you get a participation trophy or whatever. I'm okay, fine. And I'm not knocking it, whatever, if that's your cup of tea. But what I'm saying is that you want to be results oriented. You want somebody who actually can teach you stuff for real, right? So I'm old enough to remember before. Now everybody's a coach. You can get like a coach to teach you how to put the toilet paper roll on. I mean, there's coaching for everything. It's ridiculous. And the thing is it's I like it though. I like this idea that we're moving to coaching as a way to teach people stuff and then people trade money for it. I mean, if that one thing about changing the toilet paper roll, if you need to be coached and it's worth enough money, somebody will help you with that, right? But what I like about it is I'm old enough to remember when, I've been doing business consulting for a long time. And now it's business coaching. It's not consulting. And I mean, there is a little bit of a different nuance to it, right? So a consultant just comes in and gives you their 2 cents. What I like about a coach is that they have skin in the game, that they're actually saying, hey, I'm going to get you this certain result. I'm going to I love definitions because my master's is in financial mathematics, but my undergraduate's in English literature. And that I think it's helped me write so many books. I've written well over a dozen at this point. But I love words. And I think there's a lot of magic in the definitions and particularly not just definitions, more so the etymology. The etymology is the history of the definition, the history of the meaning, like how it's changed over time. And the word coach originally was not had anything to do with tutoring or athletics or business coaching or anything like that. It meant a carriage, like a horse and carriage, like a coach, right? Like the coach that you see on the Wells Fargo logo, um, um, a vehicle by which you get from point A to point B, results. So I think that's super crucial. Let's see, Schmeenix on Instagram, coaching the freshman wrestling team when I was a junior, advanced my own skills. Well, and there's that too. So once you reach a certain level and you start coaching other people, man, it does. That is a very true statement, man. It blows up your perspective because now you're not just inside your own body. You're really having to think deeply to be able to take the information that you're using in your own body and put it into another body. And that body might have longer arms, might be fatter, skinnier, taller, shorter, so you really do have to think in a much deeper, profound thing. Coaching is a fantastic thing. So I've been coaching for a long time, both in business and in grappling. And now I coach coaches, right? So that's what I'm doing this weekend for grappling anyway, this weekend, going down to San Diego, the arena. If you guys are familiar with the area, the arena MMA, stop by, say hi. I'm going to be there 9 a.m. to probably 4 grinding. So I won't have much time to chit chat, but stop by, say hi, please, if you're in the area. If you want to join, it's coachingcatch.com. It's going to be awesome. Me and my pal Sam Cresson, who is I am moving out of my coaching role. I will still be coaching because I love it, but I'm putting Sam more into a head coach position. He is fantastic. I trust him. He's been around. I know that he maintains the very high quality standards that were instilled in me, and it's going to be great. And actually, I've been really brainstorming about scientific wrestling. This thing is about to explode. If you want to get involved, now is the time. You can get your feet wet. Just dip your toes in, see if you like it over at coachingcatch.com. That's the registration. Come on in. It's a big gym. We got room. Love to have you. But the Scientific Wrestler affiliate program is, dude, I'm just like stacking value and value. If you don't do this, you are absolutely crazy. Literally, you could go. I have a company. They're called Fund My Contract. They will help you break down the payments as long as you have over a 600 credit score. You got to check that out. It's Scientific Wrestler. Let me put that up on the page here for everybody else. Only Instagram doesn't get to see all my fancy screen graphics and stuff like that. But failure is crucial, and we're teaching generations. How long has public school been in the United States? Do you know? I know. 1913. You know who started it? It was the Rockefeller Foundation. You want to get all conspiratorial and put your tinfoil hat on? I think I write all about it in my book, Anomaly. I don't have a copy. Do I have a copy of it here? I should have a copy of all my books, but I don't. Sitting here. Yeah, man. And the expressed purpose was not to educate or make people better or help people reach their full potential or any of that stuff. The purpose expressly written, you can look this shit up, of the public education system was to create workers. Okay? That's what they think of you. Slaves. In case you just are missing the point here. Right? So, and if you think I'm joking, Google another thing, the public school to prison pipeline. And if you go to prison and there's so many laws, there's a book called 3 Felonies a Day. Even your little old grandma, there's so many laws in the book. Your little old innocent grandma's committing 3 felonies and she's not doing anything wrong. It's just we're over-regulated, right? So they can selectively enforce. That's why we have a mass incarceration problem. But why do we have a mass incarceration problem? I'm a libertarian, so don't mean to get political, but one of the arguments is, but who will build the roads if it's not for public taxation and all this bullshit? Who's working on the roads? A lot of the maintenance, and there's a lot of slave labor out of prisons working on those roads. So I'll just skip that. I'm happy to pay for the service In fact, I'll probably get a better deal because it's market oriented and people will be competing for the contracts and the bids, and I won't be driving over potholes or waiting for public works to fix things, right? Like, same point about these government schools, about these public schools. Why on earth would you stop people from experimenting, trying new things? Why are you trying to cookie cutter people? Because you don't want independent, free people experimenting, trying their own stuff, figuring out new ways. You want workers, you want slaves, you want obedience. What do you do when you go to public school? Okay. What happens? I have kids now. I'm well aware of this. Not only am I a product of it, I took my kids out because literally all they're doing is being told what to do all day, the entire day, except 15 minutes at recess in the morning and in the afternoon. It's the only exercise they get. This is insanity. Okay. So my suggestion to you is to stop giving a fuck about failure. You, in fact, probably need to fail to catch up because you've been in this bubble wrap bullshit idea that failure is bad. You need to get out. You need to start fucking failing and learning from the failure. Okay? That's firsthand knowledge. That's experience. Have you ever met a really, really smart young person and a really, really dumb old person? And sure, the young person might have some tricks and stuff because they're smart, but the old person, they're stupid, let's say, but they got experience. They haven't died, and there's wisdom in experience. In fact, I think it's more important than just quickness of mind and being able to. Both are important. You want to have both, but experience is super, super powerful. And this is where I think an apprentice system, mentoring, coaching, this is where that comes in spades, man. It's super powerful, right? Is that you're going to deal with somebody who knows what is up, not just some guy given 50 grand a year to track what your grades are and to read out of a freaking book. Am I wrong? Am I off base here? I know a lot of teachers hear this, public school teachers, and they get all mad at me. I don't know what to tell you. I love you. Get a better job. Go into the private sector. Start mentoring, coaching, teaching. Get what you're worth. Stop bitching and moaning about it. Stop taking my property taxes through the unions and the state, and go get what you deserve. I'm here to help you. I do that for people. I coach people how to be coaches, not just in grappling, but in business. How to start your own business, right? If you've gone to my No1 coaching, that's what I do, man. I show you how to do things. I'll teach you how to write a book. I'll teach you how to do a podcast. I'll teach you how to deliver services. I'll teach you how to sell high ticket items. I'll teach you sales. I'll teach you marketing. I'll teach you accounting. I'll teach you risk. I'll teach you wealth. You don't need the state. But like, imagine that. Imagine you don't need somebody telling you what to do all the time. Imagine you don't need somebody coddling you because you take responsibility. See, for me, freedom and responsibility are the same thing. Oh, thank you. Would you like to say hello to everybody?
Sure.
So my wife, she makes these appearances and she brings me like food and beverages. This is my lovely wife. She's so nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. And my daughter just got braces started. So my poor daughter, I never had to do that. I was born without wisdom teeth. So in that regard, I won the genetic lottery. Now, on the other hand, I had cancer and gangrene poisoning and strokes and everything else. So Schmeenix, oh, you bought a badge, bro. Dude, you're my first badge. You will always be my first badge, Schmeenix. Dude, you took my badge virginity. Thank you so much. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, you have to fail. You have to commit to being able to fail. Okay? And along those lines, especially now the way the world is, if you're going to fail, what's up, Megia Crew? What's up, Noe Rincon 2010? Good to see you. Matija says, agreed 100%. Freedom equals responsibility. I mean, it is. Like, if you want, If you don't want people to tell you what to do, then you're going to have to do it yourself. So this is one of the big transitions into being an entrepreneur is, everybody, the sales pitches, be your own boss. Hey, be your own boss. Everybody fucking hates having a boss. Be your own boss. And then people like say, okay, I'm going to be my own boss. And they quit their job. And then they forget that you still have to be a boss. You have to be your own boss now, which means wake up early, get the fucking shit done, do a good job, go back and make it right if it's not. Like work long hours. You have to do that's really what being your own boss means. Okay. So I see all these guys. Listen, I see so many young people come in and then they have like a splash of success. Maybe you put together a landing page or maybe you stumbled on a lead gen system and now your gym's full. Okay, awesome. Do that for 30 years now. Okay, be successful. Like that's it. Don't dip. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Schmeenix, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you were gentle. Thank you. So, anyway, like you have to be willing to fail because that's where you're going to learn. You got to touch the hot stove. I mean, you can listen to other people, sure, that will help you. But, you've got to do both. People say like, oh, don't work hard, work smart. No, do fucking both because you need to do both. Right? You need to do both. You could work smart, but not get anything fucking done because you're lazy. Okay? Laziness isn't bad per se because sometimes lazy gives you a shortcut that's way more efficient. It works better. So there's nothing to be wrong with that. But sometimes there are subtasks that being lazy will not work. You're going to have to do an ungodly amount of tremendous effort to make things happen. All right. So along with this idea of actually seeking out failure, like go fail. I mean, how many shots did Michael Jordan miss? Did Kobe miss? Nobody knows. Nobody gives a fuck. They count the ones that you do miss, but if you don't shoot, you can't make a shot. You may miss, but you have to get out there and start going. Now, here's the thing. Okay, because of our public education system and all the other the weird like matrix shit that is like not explicit, it's like implicit. It's kind of below spoken, right? Like about public school, about excessive laws, about like in India with caste systems. That happens everywhere. That's not just in India. England's got it, dude. There's fucking kings and queens. What the fuck? I mean, give me a break, dude. I love England. I go over there. I travel. I love the people. Catch as catch can. Came from the north of England. I love all of that. Okay, but you got to get rid of this king queen bullshit. That is the stupidest shit. That is just it needs to go, dude. Like I'm 100% with the founding fathers. They're like, I am fucking out of that, dude. No way. Divine right of kings and all that. And I know you got legislators and all that. Legislatures and all that. Okay, that's a whole other story, dude. We need to get rid of democracy. Yeah. Okay, great. Here's me getting some haters. I want to go into that. Democracy don't work. It don't work. Okay, you're ruled by a fucking popularity contest. How did that work out for prom king and queen? You want that kind of person making decisions about your fucking life? I mean, it's stupid, dude. It's stupid. And tweaking it with ranked choice voting or proportional, it doesn't matter. It's all the same dumb shit. What you're going to end up is with a dumb popularity contest and with dummies in charge that are easily manipulated. Guys like Trudeau, guys like fucking Biden that just go out and try to fucking be as popular as possible. Okay? Dummies. By and large, 99% of the time. And psychopaths, right? Psychopaths tend to go towards these positions of power. Like it's interesting research, psychopathy. Naturally occurring in only 1% of the population. So only 1 out of 100 people are a psychopath. That doesn't mean a killer. That means somebody without empathy, without emotion. They don't give a fuck about you. They'll stab you in the back. They'll climb up you. They don't matter, right? This is why they do so well in politics and they do so well in corporate America, where the general population is 1 out of 100. But in those kind of positions, they're 1 out of 4. Talking like politicians, CEOs of big corporations, not the mom and pops. I'm talking to the small. And by the way, do you know like small business? I think there's 6 million. I better get these numbers right. Let me see it. I have the book around here somewhere. I swear I saw it. I just got this great book from a friend. It's called It's the Manager. It is a great book. And man, where did I have it? I could have swore I had it here. Maybe I'll find it in a little bit. I want to read some from that, but I don't want to go too off. I'll read from that tomorrow. It's fantastic. But you've got to fail. But the thing is that in this culture, with all these layers of bullshit, this implicit stuff. Oh, David Barry, what is up, dude? Good to see you. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Michael Jordan, right? Perfect, exactly. But here's the thing, right? What's my solution to the two-party system? It doesn't really work. Dude, I got crazy solutions, man, and they work. These are brilliant. I've got great ideas, okay? I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be full of myself, but I think these are really well thought out ideas. You eliminate all voting. All voting, gone. Also, you need to put a sunset provision on every existing law so it is reviewed, okay? But who's it reviewed by? You do it like jury duty. People ain't going to like this because everybody hates jury duty. Jury duty is one of the most important things you can do, by the way. That gives you the most power over saving somebody's life and control or affecting somebody of any other part of the system. This was the Anti-Federalists. The Anti-Federalists, by the way, we all know the Federalists because they're all the people in the fucking musical, the fucking Hamilton musical. Great. Okay, cool. Do one on the fucking Anti-Federalists. That should be the sequel to Hamilton, right? Is Madison. And they should do one on all the Anti-Federalists. Because if it wasn't for the Anti-Federalists, we would not have the Bill of Rights. Okay, freedom of speech, freedom to self-defense, privacy, states' rights, like all this shit. You would not have any of that, and you wouldn't have trial by jury. Okay, but how are you selected for a jury? One of the you could affect somebody's life, dude. You think it's a frivolous law? Hey, this guy's not guilty. I'm not going to put this person in prison. Okay, or you think somebody's doing something fucked up? You're like, they need to go. You have a lot of control in jury duty where you don't in voting. But how are you selected? Lottery. Because when you're randomly selected for a lottery, then you're selecting out the popularity contest people that go and seek the prom king and queens, the cheese dick popular people. You sort them out. They're no longer part of it. Right? Because it's randomized. So I have a whole scheme set up on it. I won't go into it because I want to get to this point about haters. So in our system that's got all this like overlay, this implicit, not explicit, but like, oh, failure's bad and don't take risks and oh, I love you how you are and all this bullshit. You've got to take the risk. This is what an entrepreneur does, is they take risk. Okay, it's a gamble. They put it all in behind themselves. They bet on themselves. This is what I've done for 20 plus years now. Okay, Schmeenix, thanks, dude. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Hope to see you regularly. I'm here every day. Kind of random when I could squeeze in a show, but just watch for it. I'll pop up on your stuff. And again, I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube. I think if you follow me on YouTube, you'll get notifications when I'm doing these shows. Maybe on Facebook too. I'm not sure. I know Instagram will let you know too. So anyway, thank you. Appreciate you. If you're going to fail in this culture though, where it's very like looked down upon, the problem with that is you're going to start getting haters. Oh, who does he think he fucking is? And blah, 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 blah. All that. And it really all stems from envy. And it could be for a million reasons. Who knows what? Because they're scared and you're triggering them, whatever the fuck that means. You know what I mean? It could be because they don't like you, right? You got to just get ready. So this is kind of the deal. If you start actually making a difference, you're going to start having fucking people that hate you. And you have to just not give a shit. And don't focus on them. Focus on your fans. This is the hardest thing. Most people, when People don't focus on the person who's kind to them and loving and helping and supporting and doing everything for them. Typically, they tend to, like, if somebody's negative, they tend to want to address that. I understand that. That's natural. And you want it to stop. I understand that. But maybe you should instead just inoculate yourself and just it don't even fucking phase you. And you now focus on the people that support you and help you and you know, like your goals and like you. You know? So when I say get you some failure and get you some haters, I think they're totally crucial for your personal development, for you to be a great person and reach your full potential. Okay? You need to write the story of your life, not let anybody else write it. You fucking hold the pen. Okay? You hold the pen. One of my biggest heroes, like, I don't know, thought leaders, whatever these fucking people call it now. He's a philosopher. He was a psychiatrist, but he was a rebel psychiatrist. He was against almost all the establishment of psychiatry. Love this man. I gave him, I was so blessed that when I had a radio show years ago, I was able to get him on and I gave him his last radio interview, his last in-depth interview. It's all up on YouTube for free. And his name was Thomas Saz, Szazz. Szazz. Hungarian, I believe. Thomas Saz, rebel psychiatrist, okay? He believed that it was all bullshit. And he had this great phrase. He said that, you know, in the animal kingdom, it's eat or be eaten. But in the human kingdom, it's define or be defined. So you need to take charge of your story. Stop letting your family or, you know, your clique that you hung out with in high school or college or at work or whatever. Take charge of your story. Figure out what that is. Who are you? Right? Go on like Joseph Campbell, like a hero's journey, man, of figuring that out. Can I tell you something? Would you ever watch an action movie without risk? That's what they're selling, is this simulation of you taking risks. I go and I watch a James Bond or a Mission Impossible movie, and it's like, oh my God, this is so fucking crazy. He's jumping over a cliff. Oh, he's shooting guns. People are shooting at him. He's doing parkour on a fucking scaffolding on a building. Like, right? Like, risk. Heroic. Gives you purpose. Gives you meaning. You have to do that. And does James Bond have haters? He has motherfuckers shooting at him. Okay, I know this is fictional. What about John Wick? People are trying to kill him. Like, for like 3 days straight, everybody's killing him. And he's got nothing but haters the whole show. He's got like 2 or 3 fans. And you pay money for that shit. It makes you go and pretend you're John Wick when you go fucking do your pajama wrestling, right? It's important. But this is part of the problem, is that, you know, the establishment, whatever the fuck that means, but this system that doesn't want you to take responsibility, that doesn't want you to be free, that doesn't want you to take risks, that doesn't want you to succeed. It's powerful and it's ingrained. It's taught to us at the very, very beginning of our lives, when we're the most vulnerable, when we're building our experience. It should be building our experience. Right? So fail. Go fail and learn from it. If you fail and you don't learn, now that's like, I can't do anything for you. That's just stupid. Okay? But fail. Go out and fail. Learn from your failures. Take fucking notes. Get you some haters. I'm not saying get haters because you're immoral. That's different. And by immoral, to me, just means the abrogation of consent. Okay? Of like stealing from somebody because you're lying. They can't make a decision. They can't make an informed decision because you're withholding information, or you force them to do something, right, that they're not into. You threaten them. That's immoral. But if you're hated for something that's not immoral in that context, in my opinion, go to fucking town. I mean, am I wrong? I don't think I am. Okay. So how can you get started? Okay. So for me, what the fuck is grappling? Jimmy Comer says, I would never learned out to properly finish a high school crotch without getting guillotined, without getting fucked up a bunch first. Well, that's it. That's exactly where I was going to go, right? A high crotch. Yeah. So this is exactly where I was going to go. So I think this is why I like coaching, because athletics is such a great metaphor and it can be applied to business or whatever, you know. But I think it's very applicable because it's about performance, about getting the most out of it. And if we're talking grappling, because I got a big grappling audience here and a business audience, I think that both can benefit from this. Is that when I first started grappling, I got my fucking ass kicked. Okay, I'll tell you the first time that I ever did grappling with somebody who's really, really good, right? Mario bartending, great definition of immoral, abrogation of consent. I think it's simple, dude. I don't think, you don't have to get all fucking like pedantic and like these fucking philosophy nerds like make themselves somehow relevant by complicating things. I think it's a simple concept, right? Like, this is why I don't like taxes. To be honest, I don't like taxes because you're taking my fucking money and spending on shit I would not spend it on, like bombing innocent people overseas and shit, right? Like, I'm like, dude, don't be spending my money on that. Don't be militarizing the police. I'm not into that. But you take my money, I can't control it. And if I fight that, I go to jail. And if I fight going to jail, you fucking pop a cap. That's violence, dude. I don't it's extortion. I don't know, man. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I'm just speaking basic, simple principles here, right? But with wrestling, okay? So, I wrestled as a kid. I Pee-wees, and I got all these cute pictures. I actually had hair. I had one of those fucking, because I was in the 70s, had one of those like fucking bowl haircuts, like Adam Rich. I don't even know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but ridiculous pictures. But in there, and getting my ass kicked because I had 6, dude, or 4. I didn't know what I was doing. Got my ass kicked. Okay. But eventually you start being like, fuck this. I'm not going to get my ass kicked. And you start learning to be aggressive. You start learning the tricks to move right and set people up and all that kind of stuff. Same deal with anything, man. Anything. But you have to figure out, what do you want to get good at? Times tables? I am so sorry here. Okay. If you're memorizing timetables, I have a math degree, a master's in math. I've taught math, okay, to kids, to high schoolers and shit. And I had to quit because I just didn't believe in it. I'm like, you know what? When I was a kid, they said, you need to learn your timetables because you won't always have a calculator in your pocket. What the fuck is this shit? This is like, got a calculator. It's got all the world's information. It's got fucking apps. I mean, goddamn, this thing is like amazing. So fuck you with that shit. Okay. What would you have been learning if you weren't being forced to waste all your time on something else? So you look at these kids who come out and they're 16 years old and they're making like $7 million. I know one of these kids. Great guy. Okay. What do you think he's spending his time? Do you think he's sitting there memorizing? Maybe his parents make him for school or whatever, but he's spending all his time figuring out business. Okay. That's where his real passion and time is, and that's going to pay him. Times tables ain't going to pay you because a fucking goddamn phone will do it for free. And it's just going to get worse with AI. Everything's going to be automated. So, we're really going to be in this position where we might need to make ourselves valuable to AI. Instead of freaking out like Elon Musk and all that, how do I make myself valuable to AI? So that there may be some AI that don't want me, like Terminator. But what if there's some AI that's like, no, I like this human. This is a valuable human, and we're going to develop programs because we understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm tripping out. But my point is you've got to go out and take risks and fail. And I think entrepreneurship is the best way. When I started wrestling, grappling again, so I was doing martial arts and all this stuff. I started Pee-wees, Then Karate Kid came out and I had to do the McDojo shit. Got my black belt, got very ill. I had cancer as a kid. Did the chemo, the radiation, all that bullshit. Came back, started doing like martial arts again, studied everything I could, judo, boxing, savate, fencing. I mean, I was on that Bruce Lee trip of like studying everything I could. Saw the UFC 2, was fucking mind blown. Like, wow. I thought Bloodsport was like the most realistic, the Jean-Claude Van Damme up to that point, because there just wasn't anything like that, right? Until then. And it blew my mind. And that's all I wanted to do. And that's all I did. I mean, I took risks. I moved to California. I knew nobody. I moved to the most expensive city. I had a fucking English degree, which is useless. I was fucking poorer than poor. I've told that story here before. One time I ate a fucking Chinese food, got halfway through it, and I was so fucking starved. I ate was eating out of that little paper box, got halfway through before I found fucking cockroach parts. And I was so poor, I picked them out because I took those kind of risks to go chase this dream, right? Early on in the early 90s. And I remember, dude, like it had to be 94, and Boulder Karate, because I was in the University of Colorado Boulder Karate would fly in these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. And the one we flew in the most was Pedro Sauer, because he was in Salt Lake, which wasn't a super far flight. Dude, I remember I did a couple privates with him way back then. And he said, yeah, come and get me. Just do whatever you want. And I was young, I was like 21 years old, maybe, strong, really in good shape, running like 10 miles, lifting like a fool. Like and studied all this martial arts. And dude, he just laid on his back with his hands and his feet like a fucking monkey, and I could do nothing. Right. And so failure after failure after failure, he never let me win, never gave me a participation trophy, none of that stuff, just fucking failing. Same thing with Kaseka Munez. We brought him out to the rec center at the University of Colorado Boulder. Again, 94. Ricardo Miguel, all these same guys. When I went out and trained with Carly Gracie in San Francisco, then trained with Half was never there, but he opened a school in the Mission District. Kurt Osiander and all those guys, dude. Failure after failure until you just start getting good, right? That's how you get good. Period. What's up, Luis? All the way from Hawaii. Good to see you, brother. So that's how you have to have tenacity and be willing to fail. Billy Robinson would tell me these stories that like people would come to Wigan to learn, to Billy Riley's gym. No other gym. There's all these gyms all over. Billy Riley's gym was very special. Okay. And that's where both Carl Gotch and Billy, my mentors and coaches in Catch as Catch Can learned. But Billy would tell me these stories, like these guys would go to Billy Riley's gym and nobody would teach them anything for at least 6 months. Okay. Now this is different now because now it's retail martial arts, right? Like, oh, come in here and stay here every 6 months. I'll give you a new belt. Like how Taekwondo used to be. It's a business model, right? Or there's a 10-year, you got a 10 years and then you do this and blah, 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 blah. So, 10-year revenue stream. I'm just a business guy. I'm just kind of telling you how this works. But back in the day, they didn't do that shit. But they said, okay, because it was a prize fighting mentality. They were teaching these people to fight so they could go bet on themselves. And other people would bet on them. Excuse me. So they wouldn't teach anything for 6 months at least. Mario bartending, got class, got to go, got value from listening to what you're sharing. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Like I said, I try to do this every day. And I go all over the place. It's about business. It's about grappling, catch wrestling, martial arts, pro wrestling, MMA, family, sales, marketing. I'll even get into derivatives and options and sometimes politics. Like I say, I try to keep it to a minimum because it's just gross, dude. It's just negative. There's nothing good about politics, really, honestly. That's why it's just constantly on CNN pushing it on you because nobody would fucking pay attention. It's, oh, car crash. This person died. Oh, this person got a disease. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if people, that stuff is a given. It's been going on since the dawn of fucking time. Okay. If it's somebody that's close to me, I'm going to do everything I can. And even if it's not, I give to charity. Does nothing. Does nothing. So anyway, go out and get some haters. That's man. That's the hard thing. We like to be hated. You know, if you have any kind of impact, what there's a have you chaos magic? I hate that term. I wish it was a different. I might have to rename it or rebrand it for myself because, you know, I just look at it as like philosophy, a way of thinking. And there's a great guy, brilliant guy, Peter J. Carroll, really wonderful author. He's still alive, and he's written a bunch of stuff, mostly under the rubric of chaos magic. It's very valuable stuff, but he talks a lot about like magical issues. Okay, and I like some of that. I like magical thinking as much as the next guy. But he has this great phrase, right? And oh, now it's going to slip my mind. Oh, God damn it. So the point is that when you are like, he basically points out, thank you for your patience. He points out that on this plane of existence, this thing we call life, this experience of consciousness, you can't avoid dualism. You can't avoid it. There's always this is like going into the philosophy of like Taoism and whatnot, right? Like you can't avoid duality when you really start looking at things. And things go even into multiplicity beyond duality, but you can't avoid duality. Because once you think of one thing, then all of a sudden you can think of two. It splits. So if you're going to have fans, you have to expect to have haters. There's nothing. You should, in my opinion, it would be the greatest survival mechanism if you're into biology, okay, and organisms. As a human being, it would be the greatest survival mechanism for you to have as many real fans as possible. Let's look at somebody who has a lot of fans. Anybody, throw somebody in the chat. Throw somebody who has like a fuck ton of fans. What's his name? Logan Paul. Oh no, let's not do Logan Paul. Let's do even bigger. Mr. Beast. Do you guys know who Mr. Beast is? I don't even know if anybody knows this. I only know this shit because I got kids. Mr. Beast is this YouTuber, super wealthy, and he does all these charitable things, right? Okay, Justin Bieber. So Justin Bieber has a crap ton of fans. A ton of fans. Thank you, Jimmy. So Justin Bieber has, Matija says the same thing. Now, he has a shit ton of fans. He also has a bunch of haters, okay? But because he has so many fans, he has a lot of money. He has a lot of freedom. Now, I'm not saying that he's smart. I don't know him. But the more fans that you have, the more access to money, the more love that you get, the more support that you get. It's safety. So that's the irony to me, in my experience, is that, yeah, if I stick my neck out and I go and do something big and get a lot of attention, some people are going to love it, right? If I'm not being an asshole, not like the fucking one of these dumb shooters or something. I'm not talking that kind of attention. I'm talking producing something of value where other people are willing to give me money for it. That's what I'm talking about specifically, okay? So if I go, but you know what? Let's say I paint something, or I'm fucking Bieber, and I make a bunch of fucking records. I've never bought one. In fact, when the music comes on, I turn it off. I'm like, dude, this is awful. I don't like it. I'm not a hater though. I'm just like indifferent, not interested. Okay. Bieber actually is better off turning me into a hater than indifferent. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Because if I'm a fan, I'm actually giving him money. I'm paying for concert tickets. I'm buying T-shirts. I'm paying for fucking songs and shit, right? That's how it goes. Luis, the more successful my wrestling team gets, the more haters I get. It's a law of the universe. The more fans you get, the more haters you'll get. So if you want more fans, be prepared to get more haters, right? So maybe it's maybe a little exaggeration or hyperbole or over the top when I say go get you some haters. I'm not saying go be hated. What I'm saying is go and do something epic and don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, who gives a fuck? Right? I mean, for us that are wrestlers, now here's the thing, dude. It's sometimes hard to sell people on wrestling. I've been selling wrestling for a long time. Sometimes it's hard to sell them, right? It's easier to sell people on martial arts where you get belts. Because in wrestling, the only belt that matters is gold. I don't have one. I fucking wish I did. Right? But I've gotten out on that stage and fucking done my best, and somebody has to win and somebody has to lose for the game to continue. Okay? It's just you're part of the process. And you have to love it or you don't. Okay? So for me, this idea, like, I think sports is so great. If you're particularly if you're a wrestler or a grappler and you don't buy into this all belt hierarchy bullshit, right? Luis says the #1 belt. Yeah, dude, let me show you guys this. I just had this made, man. Is this badass or what? Can you see that? You guys see all that? Dude, got like the scientific wrestling King of Catch on it, and then got the Shoot Pro on it. Just had that made. That's not good. I'm gonna let that baby just sit here and percolate, absorb the beauty of the neon light for a while until we are ready to belt the absolute Shoot Pro guy. Taking my time. That said, guys, go check it out on YouTube. Go see Shoot Pro Wrestling. We use the King of Catch open tournaments. We watch people, and the guys that are good, we book. For example, last year we did King of Catch San Diego, and we put in Adam Roman. I would definitely all those guys, man. That's where I want to start. We really start noticing people. Same with the Arizona King of Catch. Some great guys out of there that we booked. Scott Sutton, I booked him on the last show. So anyway, guys, don't be afraid, man. Go out there and experiment. Okay. Now, I think entrepreneurship is like the way to do this, right? Because the thing about entrepreneurship is that you can go get a job, and there's nothing wrong with having a job. I hire people all the time. There's a need for people just to do work and get behind somebody who has a vision. Okay. But you can have your own vision. What's up, dude? Brandon Ruiz, man. Okay, dude, the champ is here. I'm not talking about fucking what's his name? Cena. Talking about Brandon Ruiz. Loving the new podcast. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Good to see you. So but you could get in anywhere. I personally think the best way, if you want to get into entrepreneurship, is to start in a sales position. Go. Everybody's like, I don't want a commission position. You know why you don't want a fucking commission position? I'm sorry. I'm just going to be real. Because you're a fucking wuss. Because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you could go sell enough to live off of. It's hard. Okay. But you can make more. You can make more money than the CEO sometimes if you're in the sales, right? What's Brandon saying here? Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to live. Life is peaks and valleys. Got to keep climbing. Dude, that's 100% right, dude. Brandon's a hell of a coach. I've been very fortunate to work with Brandon, and he's a good friend as well. So I'm so happy to see you here, dude. Dude, sales jobs are great. Okay. Sales jobs are great. So, okay. Brandon lives in Utah. I lived in Utah for a long time. Like 6 years, 7 years. I think it was 7 years. Crazy. I lived in Salt Lake City. Okay. And so I'm not Mormon or LDS, but I was around a lot of LDS. And you know what? I will tell you something. Very interesting. I'm not a religious person. I don't really endorse any religion. I honestly endorse Scientology as much as I endorse LDS. But I think every religious system does have value. There might be bad parts about it, but again, I'm not going to focus on that. Let some other idiot do that. What I like about like the LDS, there's many things that I like about the institution, what they teach, but in particular with regards to sales, is the missionary system. Dude, that is some amazing training. Take a young person, 18, 20, go send them, put them in some random ass part of the country where they don't know anybody. And they got to go knock door to door and sell something that is very not popular. Dude, you're creating an army of like killer, can provide for their family. Like they're not afraid. They'll get out there. They understand the value of other people. And you learn like sales skills. That is something that, man, that would be so much better than public school. Now everybody be annoyed because you have all these kids going door to door trying to sell something, but they're already there. But you know what? I haven't seen that in ages. Do you guys have kids come to your door anymore? Trying to sell chocolate or fundraisers or anything like that? Saddest thing ever. The only people come to my door is like fucking solar people, which is great. But whatever happened to that? Everybody's like, there's such like an anti-sales fucking mentality in our culture too, which is just shit. Because, and I understand some of it. Like there is in every group, there's good cops and bad cops. There's in every group, there's good politicians, bad politicians. There's good white people, bad white people. There's good gay people, bad gay people. There's good Mormons and bad Mormons. There's good fucking Catholics and bad. Like it's this, dude, you can't judge somebody by this arbitrary. There's just good and bad in whatever group, right? And same goes with sales. There are unethical salespeople. Fucking, in fact, Utah is. So let's just say this about Utah. Utah has a lot of great things going for it, but it also, and I learned this the hard way, again, touching that hot stove, #1 state for affinity fraud, meaning being defrauded in a sale by somebody you know. I had that happen in a big way a couple times. We got totally taken advantage of by these criminal people who hid under this fake veneer of morality and religiosity or whatever. Anyway, long story short, dude, you get me bullshit, man. It's over, dude. And oh man, yeah, my friends will tell you. Like when we go out, we have a good time. Anyway, guys, go out there, fail. Okay, learn from the failures. Take some risks. Okay, go get a commission sales job. Go do it. I dare you. If you don't have the guts, just do it part time. You could get in on and this is another people look down their nose at. Okay, is multi-level marketing or network marketing. Dude, easiest way to cut your teeth. You can go, like my wife sells essential oils. She made 10 grand, just not even doing anything, just because it's something she believes in. And people are like, well, fuck, that's amazing. And her, the power of her belief in it. Other people are like, I'm going to try it. Okay. Right. And because she loves it, dude. Like, and I'm going to be convinced. I'm convinced of it. I think it's great. Prepaid legal is something I sell on the side because it's something I believe in. I was a customer for 20 years before I ever even thought of like selling it. And I'm not like aggressive about it, but having an attorney on tap, like on retainer for like $35 a month. Are you shitting me? It's a great fucking deal, especially if you're like African-American or fucking ethnic dude in this country. Like this is a great deal, man. This shit'll change your life for $30 a month. What is it? EXT. Isn't that the realty? EXT. It's like a multi-level real estate thing. People making fucking tons of money and ethical. Go get involved with that. Kangen water. I have one of those. It makes like non-acidic, like alkaline water. So we have one of those, and that was sold to us through a MLM. Okay, so I mean, don't get down on it. Stop being the crab in the bucket. Go try to hustle. Try to make yourself a little bit of fucking extra money. Try to sell. And then realize some people make a living doing it and they do it ethically. And that's how good they are and how much they believe in their product. What about Rainbow vacuums? You got one of those? They only sell that like door to door. You can't buy them online or nothing like that. You have to have a salesperson come and talk to you. I mean, just fascinating. I mean, the world's way cooler if you stop watching the news and listen to all the fucking haters. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this because we're literally 10 seconds from an hour. And I appreciate you guys hanging out this long. Go fail, take some risk, get a commission sales job, go get out on the mat and fail. Dude, I failed so hard it medically retired me, dude. I got choked so many times my carotid artery fucking collapsed. Okay, now don't go that crazy. Not everybody's that stupid or obsessed. And this is one where don't learn that on your own. Just trust me, tap to chokes. So this is one where you don't want to fail. So sometimes it does make sense to get a mentor and learn from them, and they can show you the ropes because you know they've been through it instead of some fucking nerd who's never done anything making 50 grand a year at a university or at a high school. CF Welds, can I not roll anymore? Yeah, dude, like I pushed it all the way. So okay, I guess I'll continue. So if this is interesting to you guys. So big shout out to my fucking pal, Chris Martin. Go check him out. Biz Jitsu with a Z, I think. BIZ Jitsu on Instagram. He does grapplinginsurance.com. He's also suffered from what I had. He was able to catch it in time, got stints. I think he still wrestles, but he can't do chokes. My incident is best. Okay, I didn't even know what was going on to me. I went through this whole really kind of mental mindfuck number of years where my body was just fucking falling apart and I had no idea what was happening. It was really kind of freaking me out. I'm just going to be vulnerable. It was really depressing. I'm going to try not to get emotional. But like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I had always been very much into cardio. Like my conditioning was always better than my opponents. Like always. That's how I won. I would wrestle against the biggest motherfucker and let them just burn out. And then I was like a highlight reel because they were gassed. Right. But I had to take a lot of abuse. It was a dumb kind of strategy now in retrospect. Right. And so, like I started, my wind, I would get really lightheaded. Like I could fucking go. And all of a sudden I'd just be gassed out. And, I was like, well, this isn't good because that was my fucking jam was like gassing other people out. All right. Well, I always, because I've been around for a long time and always studied like a nerd, super obsessed. I always had a good bag of tricks. So I could still beat people if it didn't come to like a conditioning game. If I could trick people into a move or whatever, I could get people. People have seen me do this. I think Brandon saw me do this with Kofi, who's a fucking beast, way better athlete than I am. And I could trick people, but now I'm like getting freaked out. Then I stopped losing the ability to use my right hand. Now I'm like, I don't have any wind, and I'm not one of these guys like, hey, I'll wrestle you with one arm tied behind. I'm like, I'm going to use both my fucking arms, especially because I don't really, I rolled up and down weight classes. I didn't care. Well, now my arm ain't working. I'm like, okay, this is a little fucking sketchy. Then I started getting these crazy migraines. And then I started like losing my vision. Like it would just go. And I didn't know the signs of a stroke. I didn't know what the symptoms of a stroke were. This started happening in about 2007. So slowly everything started just kind of this is dramatic, but it was being taken from me, like my ability and to roll. And I just didn't feel safe, dude. I was losing to people that I should not be losing to. And like, I just was like, this is stupid. I'm doing a sport where I need to be fucking a little more with it here. And when the hand really started going, that freaked me out. So in 2013, I was like, the doctors were like, dude, you need to fucking stop. They've been telling me since 2007. None of them diagnosed me with a stroke. They said that I had thoracic outlet syndrome, scapular costal syndrome, my C2, my C5 were fucked. These are all facts from the scans, but that wasn't the actual fucking problem. They went undiagnosed for a long time. And finally, I just was like, dude, fuck this. I'm done. I was 40. I was like, I've been doing this since I was 21. I had a really good run. I did everything I wanted to do. I wanted to win some championships, and I just felt like I was in my prime, and then my fucking cardio and everything stopped working. I felt like I was really in a good place. And I started hanging out with like really high level fucking studs, guys like Brandon Ruiz and shit. And I just couldn't go. And it was fucking depressing, to be honest. And I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, God, do I have MS or do I have fucking cancer again? Or it was fucking with me, to be honest. And so in 2013, I just was like, fucking, I'm gonna focus on coaching. And yeah, that was it. And so I don't roll anymore, unfortunately. And it was really hard. It was really, really hard. But, it's also one of those things, I had a couple talks with Billy about this because Billy couldn't roll. And he was one of the guys that advised me. And he's just like, like when you're an athlete and it's a tough fucking sport, everybody has an expiration date and everybody's different. Okay. So, I got 20 years I got 18 or 19 years, which was awesome. But yeah, so it's a bummer. I sometimes, now here's the God honest truth. Don't let my wife hear this. I do get tricked into it sometimes. You fucking assholes that like you go to a seminar and the guy starts going live with you. You're just fucking trying to teach and they can start going live. I have been tricked a couple times into rolling in those situations. I'm not saying that's an invitation. I am fucked up. I don't want to die. I got 3 kids. Like I got 1 fucking carotid. So I'm good. I've made my peace with it. But yeah. So CF Wells says, "Fuck, dude, bummer. I'm sorry." I mean, dude, like everybody's unless you're one of the lucky ones that can wrestle into your 50s and shit. And there are people like that, and I'm so fucking jealous. I'm grateful for them because I can live through them vicariously. But I just can't, my body can't handle it. King Catch San Diego, Luis says, "You have the best coaching catch program though." So dude, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So all of like my attention for me selfishly now I've been coaching for probably 10 years. Yeah. I think I started coaching in 2003 while I was an athlete. But as somebody said earlier, that's when my skills went through the roof, is when I started coaching other people as an athlete myself. And Luis was a guy I wrestled. Like, I really considered him my last full match because that was like the last match before when I still had all my shit together, right? Great guy. So, but when all that was taken from me, I just fucking laser focused on, okay, if I'm not going to be the fucking number 1 competitor on the planet now, that's fucking out the door. Like that's shit on. I'm going to be number 1 at fucking blowing this shit up. And I think it's fair to say that I've done that. So, really high quality standards, making sure that, dude, I only want to work with the best. Okay. That's why, I started out with Mark Schultz, with fucking Wade Chalice, with Billy Robinson, with Carl Gotch, Dick Carl. I only sought out the fucking very best because I'm like, dude, if I want this sport to go, and I love this sport more than anything, man, almost more than my life, almost. I mean, what's Charles Bukowski says is like, and I don't know if he actually said this, but find what you love and let it kill you. I mean, I was kind of on that path, but I think, so anyway, my focus has just been really on sharing and creating opportunities and for training, for competition. Yeah, that's like my life mission. So CF Wells, catch is so hard on the body. I mean, all of it is, dude. Like if you're going to do BMX is hard on the body. Skateboarding is hard on the body, dude. Slams those guys take. Pro wrestling is really hard on the body. Catch is super hard on the body. But this speaks to what I've been saying all the time. It's risk. We do these things not even for money, just for glory, just to feel alive, to take a risk. Okay. And risk means there's downside. There's upside too, but there's downside. But you're playing the game, dude. You're in the casino, right? So, Meme Pump and Dump. Hey, what's up, Meme Pump and Dump? I don't know where you're from. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I'm now at a minute 10, over an hour and 10 today. I ain't no Joe Rogan, who actually does have the #1 podcast. Mine is called #1 podcast. I mean, if I become the #1 podcast, I'll take it. I got no problem with that, right? But that's not my goal. My goal here is to document and talk about the journey from being no one, right? No one to #1, right? So I've had guests on, and I'll probably have guests on again. So CF Wells, I skated for 10 years now, and I'm doing BJJ, and my knees and elbows are fucked. I mean, dude, like I had roommates in college that were really hardcore skaters. All the swelbos and fucking, burster sacks and all that shit, dude. I mean, I'm aware of like how rough that is on the body. Fucking concussions hitting your head when you slam, and fucking hippers and skinning your fucking skin off and road rash and all that. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow. Maybe I will find that book. I'd like to read to you some interesting statistics about small businesses versus big business. I don't like big. This is just my personal bias. I think something happens when things are big, right? So, right, people complain like, oh man, that band was so good, and then they got big and they sold out and blah, blah, blah. I'm not against big per se. I think there could be big things that are good. I mean, hard to complain about Amazon, dude. You can order something and get it in 2 days. You didn't like it, you wouldn't fucking use it, and you use it. So big isn't necessarily better, but there's a risk when something gets big, and that's bureaucracy and corruption. And so, I'm a big fan of small business. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but an understanding of small government. But big business, big government, big religion. I like small religion. You know what I mean? So anyway, CF Wells, peace, man. Yeah, dude. Oh, Luis says, catch wrestling starts standing way better for my knees than BJJ. Yeah. Meme Pumping Up says, Muay Thai for 8 years, left knee and lower back is fucked, but I wouldn't change it. So, there's going to be an expiration date for everybody. Mine happened when I was 40, and I'm grateful, because I started when I was fucking 21, man. Maybe I was 20. I think I was 21. Yeah, I think I was 21. No, it might have been 20, because I think that's when I started at the Boulder. I'd have to actually think about this, the dates. But anyway, 2021, and I went till I was 40, right? Now, I definitely fucking have a lot of mileage on on the body, because I also did pro wrestling for a while too, which was really brutal on the body, right? Because all the bumps are like taking concussions from a car wreck, right? Like 30-mile-an-hour car wreck. So Jimmy, when are you going to allow people to talk on the IG live? I mean, dude, when I fucking figure it out, I don't know what I'm doing. I am like going to be 50. I got like a baby face, but dude, I'm like just doing what I can do to like get out there and get back on broadcasting, right? Because I used to have a radio show. And so, dude, just so much has changed just in 10 years. So I'm figuring it out. I can invite guests. I know I could do it on here. I know that you can figure it out. I'm not quite sure how to do it. I'll have to look it up. And that's maybe a good idea. But the problem is if you come up on Instagram, then everybody else, see, Instagram is a standalone for me, but I get the most engagement. Like Instagram, I'll get like 50 views. Okay. When I go back and look at the insights, which is great. I'm very fucking stoked. I'm like, God, this is great. Because my Instagram is very engaged. You can tell. So I'm an old sales marketing business guy. You can tell when somebody like, they're like, oh, I've got 1 million followers, but they post something and they get like an engagement of like 2 likes. Who gives a fuck if you have 1,000 or 1 million followers? That's like useless. They're not engaged. They don't like you. You probably bought them. Okay, fine. But like, it's an illusion. You're trying to fuck with people's perceptions. It's manipulative and unethical. And people aren't stupid. They'll be like, you got 1 million followers, but you get like 1 or 2 likes on your shit. I have 20,000 people, and like I'll post things and I get like 2,000 likes on it, right? On a good one. And I've been really happy with the engagement on the Instagram live. However, if I bring you on, and that's 20,000 people that this broadcasts out to that can opt in, right? I get maybe 50 out of those people who happen to be on at the right time, want to actually listen to me go on and on. But if I bring you on, then all the people on the 2 different YouTubes, which is probably 50,000 people, the 2 different Facebooks, which is another 70,000 people, LinkedIn, which is maybe 5 or 10, Twitch, Twitter, which is 10. They can't hear you. So I wish Instagram would somehow allow us to do this with these streaming apps, but you can't. So I would love to bring you guys on is the short answer. So I'm trying to figure all that out. Jimmy Comer, in the settings you can allow people to ask. Yeah, so I could figure that part out. What I'm trying to figure out is like, I've got all this technology running here that you guys aren't aware of. It is not complicated, but I just don't know how to make it work. I'll figure it out. I'm working on it. CF Welch, where can I find your catch program? Well, thank you for asking, sir. Coachingcatch.com. That's if you want to learn, right? It's a we also call it the Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camp. So there's kind of two audiences that I've built up. I launched this in 2007. I actually started the curriculum before I ever met with Billy. The first guy that I ever had was Dick Cardinal. He ran the first two coaching catch certs. He passed away last year. Rest in peace. Great man, brilliant man. So he was for 2 years, or for two camps. The first year, he was the coach, and then I hooked up with Billy, did hosted him for a camp, and then he was like all about it. He's like, this was fucking amazing. Let's go. And so I had originally started, I had the curriculum, all that, and then Billy and I refined it. Right. So that's where I really get the bragging rights of being like, I've got the only program endorsed and co-developed by Billy Robinson. So if you want to get in on that, and then we've added wisdom from guys that I've learned from, Gene LaBelle, Mark Schultz, Dick Cardinal, Carl Gotch, Wade Chalice has been hugely influential, Josh Barnett, tons of guys, right? So that's all part of the curriculum. Plus the guys that have come up and learned through our system, they're involved, right? So it's a commitment. So like I said, there's two tracks. There is like just your guy, why I call it the Scientific Wrestling Accelerator Camp, is like one of the biggest, we get two big feedbacks. Like it's mind blowing. Like people are like, holy fuck. Like when you first step out of the Matrix movie or something, maybe that's an old metaphor, but like that mind blowing, like what is real, what is not real. I love that, by the way. That's like my favorite. And then the other one is that people always email me or text me or DM me, and they're like, holy shit, dude, I am beating all the guys that used to beat me, and I am really like fucking people up. Like people like are respecting me and scared of me in the fucking gym and won't roll with me because I'm just tapping people because it is an accelerator, right? Like I don't give a fuck about belts and rank and hierarchy. I want you to get better. I have a prize fighting mentality. This is why we do so much better. I knocked on fucking jiu-jitsu doors for 20 years and they're just not interested. And it's fine. I can take a hint, dude. You know who loves us? MMA gyms. Because they don't give a fuck. The only belt that matters is gold, right? That's where I get that phrase that I always use, TM, whatever, right? But so we get guys. So if you're in the cage and you get a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, come to my camp, dude. We're going to get you fucking ready to fight somebody and kill it, especially in a world where gravity matters, right? Not where you're on a cushy mat and you can roll around and, you know, my friend this and my friend that. You like people punching you, raining shit down from above. There's all this other fucking shit going on. This is where we really excel, right? So coachingcatch.com, we do that, the accelerator camp, for those people who just kind of want to come in and learn something. But then for those people who are serious about it, and there's a number of them, they're now assistant coaches and full coaches. You could see that on the Coaching Catch page, who our assistant and full coaches are. They're interested in really learning this and teaching it and being a link in the chain of the legendary fucking teachers that we've amassed and nobody else has amassed in scientific wrestling, right? So coachingcatch.com, dude, next fucking weekend in San Diego, if you're close, come out. On the 23rd and 24th, we're doing one in Denver, okay? DM me, dude. I'll send you the info. Just fucking show up. Fail. Take a risk, right? And then for people that want to even go the further route, because I'm a business nerd, I was like, dude, if I really want this to succeed and outlive me, like it's outlived Billy and Carl, I've got to fucking take a risk. I've got to really put some effort in beyond what anybody else is willing to do if I want to be fucking number one, which I always do, right? So that's where the Scientific Wrestler affiliate fight gym program comes in, where not only do you actually get tuition in full for 2 coaching catch certifications. That's each one of those. If you were to do all the camps involved, all the training involved, each one of those is about $5,000 in value. About $2,500 to assistant coach, another $2,500 in terms of camps and training to get to full coach. So it's about $5,000. You get 2 of those, $10,000 value when you sign up for this Scientific Wrestling Affiliate Program. Plus, you get a Mace Bell cert. So not only can you make money teaching seminars and classes and camps and whatnot of catch, you could also start teaching fitness classes based on the Mace Bell. And I fucking invented that shit. Another number one, another risk I took. Nothing existed on the market like that. People said I was fucking crazy until I found somebody who didn't, and they made one and sold the fuck out of it. And now it's a global phenomenon. They're in fucking 24-hour fitness. I walked into a 24-hour fitness and I'm like, hey, that's awesome. I invented that. And they're like, yeah, you invented that. I'm like, I did, motherfucker. Go get on the internet. But you get the Mace, and then you get resale rights. So all the shit that I put together, dude, all the shit that I put together over the seminars with Billy, the online courses with Billy, the membership websites, the fighting library, which is 10,000 pages of historical documents for grappling literacy, dude. Shit that has been around and people ignore and act like they made up something new. And it's like, here's page 70 of the fighting library. I can see this from 1917, right? Kendo Jedi CWO. What's up, dude? Yeah, bro. Love it. Number one. So you get all the resale rights to everything too. So you get to teach catch wrestling classes because you get certified with the number one best, only one co-developed by Billy, certification program. You get the Mace set up from the fucking founder and my buddy Rick Brown, who's the number one Mace trainer in the world. We're both doing the cert, super high value. We're charging affiliates $1,400 for the certification, and we'll get it. And then what else am I doing? Oh, the resale rights. Then you get promoter license for King of Catch, the only catch. First of all, the first catch wrestling competitions in the modern age, the modern grappling scene. The only rule set co-developed by Carl Gotch, documented, proven, not even fucking undisputed. That's the other catchphrase we use. Everything's undisputed because everything's scientific with us. Proof, evidence, facts, logic, reason. But now you can run tournaments. So for example, Gil Olivas, who is our newest affiliate, he's also an assistant coach of the coaches. So this guy's super bought in. He understands the value. No brainer. He's running Arizona King of Catch. Luis Ojeda, my pal, he's an affiliate. He's a full coach with us. He runs the King of Catch San Diego. You could be running King of Catch wherever you are, but you're not just going to be my partner. I'm not just going to give that to you. Okay. If this offends somebody, you need to get a fucking clue. I've been doing this for fucking 20 years. I've like destroyed my fucking body for this shit. I've made sacrifices and taken risks that nobody else has fucking done. So if you're not willing to fucking buy in, I don't want you as a partner. Okay. So don't come at me with that shit. Go save. I've done everything to make this fucking like super affordable. So you get all that shit. You get the licensing, the resale rights, all the different teaching certifications. Then you get, I'm one of 55 people on the planet certified by Grant Cardone, 10X certified. You get 6 months of business coaching. Okay. Then I just made a deal with one of the leading social media lead generation companies in the business. These guys are killing it. Made a deal. You're going to get 2 months free. This normally costs $1,200 a month of lead gen to get people in your fucking door. You're going to get all that for 10 grand, dude. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. You go pay another affiliate. I talked about this yesterday. You pay another one of these martial art affiliates so you get a brand. All you get is the brand and the curriculum to teach classes. And it's $400 a month. After 2 years and 1 month, you're paying more than $10,000. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. Like, I am passionate as my mission to get every person on the planet to benefit as either a fan, athlete, coach, promoter, right, from scientific wrestling. This is a no-brainer. And I got it on financing too. I found a company, fund your contract. They'll stretch it out over 8 years if you have to. You're not going to have to because there's no prepayment penalty. And you're going to make money from this right out the get-go if you do what I tell you to do and you do the lead gen and you pay for the ads and you do that stuff and you throw down, you're going to have a product library to sell. You're going to have classes to sell. You're going to have events to sell, all with like the most tight, highest quality brand. Anyway, I'm turning this into a sales pitch. I just get passionate about it because it's not a sales pitch. I'm like, dude, you're fucking nuts. If I had this opportunity, dude, when I was a kid, somebody built all this shit out. I mean, I built it out because nobody else did it. That's why I made the mace. That's why I've done any of this stuff, because nobody else has done it. So I'd love to have you on board. I'd love to have you on board. You buy into the financing, it's like $180 a month. Okay. Then you go and generate all the money. You pay off the 10 grand. I've designed this to have the best ROI of any affiliate system in martial arts. Love to have you on board. We do background checks. I've been burned before, had to remove people because they were felons. They were scum. They were trashy. So like now, and I'm understanding maybe your situation, you got falsely accused, something like that. I'm not one of these fucking Amber Turd people, right? But like, I run everybody through background checks. I'm not going to go through what's happening with all the creepers down in Florida and shit, doing that shit in Brazilian. We're not going to do that with this brand. This is going to be vetted. This is going to stay high quality. It's on the verge of almost a franchise in terms of being a business in a box, right? But I keep it loose like an affiliate. Okay. So anyway, off my soapbox. Appreciate you guys. Go fail. Get a commission job. Take a risk. Go talk to that girl. Go talk to that guy. Learn. All right. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Now we're verge of an hour and a half. This is how Joe Rogan just could fucking going on. I get it now. I get it. I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you very soon. I'll be back tomorrow and hope to see you guys either in San Diego this weekend or Denver at the end of the month, 23rd and 24th. Hit me up, ping me. I'll get you taken care of. Let's make it happen. I'd love to see it. So Jimmy says you should do a short fan talk at the end on some of these. I don't even know, dude. What is that? What is a fan talk? I mean, isn't that what I'm doing? I don't know. But I'll do whatever, man. Like, I don't know if people are interested in it, let me know. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.